Hello, I am ZHAO Chuang. Let's draw a Corythosaurus, a very large hadrosaurid dinosaur. We have had some new cognition on the restoration of this animal over the years, so we can include them in this drawing. We can present this Corythosaurus walking on all fours. When drawing its forefeet, pay attention that although the skeleton displays 3 fingers, based on some intact hadrosaur forelimb fossils, we can speculate that this animal actually had a forked hoof. We can restore this structure in the drawing. When drafting, pay attention to the proportions of its body. Its head cannot be drawn too large or too small. So, we must consider these when composing. When restoring the Corythosaurus, we should also pay attention to its neck. Early restorations always drew its neck very thin. From the fossils, it has an elegant and slender S-shaped neck, but now we know that its neck is believed to be wrapped in more muscles than previously speculated, and its neck might be more muscular, resembling a horse. Now, let's get started. Begin with its head. Pay attention to the overall size of its head. Draw its tall crest first. The crest turns downwards like this. When extending here, we draw its keratinous beak, with some serrations on its lower part. Moving backward, draw its mouth, with the nostrils above, followed by its curved lower jaw. Then, let's draw some wrinkles at the corner of the mouth. In the middle of the part from the crest to the lower jaw, we draw its eyes. There is a temporal fenestra behind the eye. Draw its ear in this position. Then, moving backward to draw its body, starting with its neck. Although from the fossil, its neck bones are relatively thin, the massive flesh and skin wrapped outside, when it was alive, made its neck very stout, resembling that of a horse. This position is the shoulder blade wrapped in flesh, and its arms are below and behind the shoulder blades. 4 fingers were on its hands, but they fused into 2 hooves. And there was another little finger. Let's draw the other forelimb as it steps on the ground. From this angle, we can see it stepping on the ground. Then, there is its belly. We use very light lines to show the boundary between the abdomen and thighs. Then, let's show the contour above its ribs, with very light lines extending all the way to the pelvis. Then, we draw the muscles of the thigh. Here is its knee. Draw some folds on the knee. Now, we come to its muscular calf, which ends at the ankle. What comes underneath is the foot. There were 3 toes on its feet. From this angle, we can see the whole look of these 3 toes. They are facing the viewer. We need to make the outer toe feel like facing the viewer. Draw its tail backward. Then, draw some folds between the neck and body. Now, we move to draw its towered back. Its neck was stout and conical like that of a horse. Its back extends backward to the end of its tail, forming a curve. Then, move to the other leg. We draw this leg as it lifts, and touches the ground gently. From this angle, we can only see 2 toes. Under the feet, we can add some shading. Then, let's add some details, such as a row of square protrusions on its back, a typical feature of many hadrosaurs. Then, highlight the shape of the pelvis. The outline of the pelvis extends to the middle of the tail, forming the boundary between the upper and lower sets of muscles. We can show the traces of the ribs. The armpits can be with a lot of wrinkles caused by frequent movement. On the side of its body, we can draw many wrinkles or skin textures. On the leg behind, we can draw some shading. Then, slightly show the toe pads. On these joints, we can draw wrinkles. Then, the calf muscles. There was a skin linked between the tail and the legs. Draw folds from the rear of the thighs to the tail. Followed by some shading on the underside of the tail. This leg can also be shaded. Next, add some details to the feet. Draw the muscles in the arms. Then, the technique to draw its tail, and the lower part of its neck is the same. We also make this part look three-dimensional, and use wrinkle textures to present the orientation of its body structure. Then, add some shading under the lower jaw. We can also add some textures around the eyes and on the crest. The crest comprises several bones, so instead of drawing its surface too smooth, we should make it have some worn traces of keratin. Next, let's draw some dots on the flank of its body. These dots are randomly arranged, but evenly distributed. They become neat rows of dots, especially near the bottom of the belly. These dots represent relatively large scales, like the coins, playing a certain role of armor. At present, such scale impressions have been found on the underside of the Corythosaurus tail. Finally, draw some dust under this dinosaur's feet to show the dinosaur walking forward in a dry environment. Good. Like this, we've finished drawing this Corythosaurus.